You've tried everything to manage your anxiety, your mood swings, and those persistent, nagging cravings. You've meditated, you've journaled, you've even tried to think your way out of a bad mood. But what if the source of your mental static isn't in your head at all? What if it's in your gut? You've probably heard the common advice: just eat healthier. But this is dangerously vague and often leads to more confusion. People tell you to cut out sugar or gluten, but they rarely explain why, and the effects feel temporary at best. They treat your mind and your body as two separate entities, when in reality, they are having a constant, direct conversation. The real villain isn't your lack of willpower or a character flaw. The villain is the misunderstanding that your brain is the sole commander of your mental state. We've been taught to focus on the top floor of the building while ignoring a complete system collapse happening in the foundation. By the end of this video, you will understand the biology of the gut-brain axis, and I will give you the exact, science-backed protocol to leverage this connection, take back control of your mood, and quiet those relentless cravings. Welcome to The Better Habit, where we use science to optimize your daily life. So, how did we get this so wrong? For centuries, Western medicine viewed the body like a machine with separate, disconnected parts. The brain was the CPU, the central processor, and everything else was just hardware that followed its commands. In the 20th century, the rise of psychiatry and neuroscience reinforced this brain-centric model. Mental health was purely a matter of brain chemistry. If you felt depressed, it was a serotonin issue in the brain. If you were anxious, it was an adrenaline or cortisol issue controlled by the brain. Your gut? That was just a simple plumbing system for digestion. This idea became deeply entrenched because it's simple and, on the surface, logical. We feel emotions in our head, we think with our brain, so that must be where the problems originate. We're seen as a physical manifestation of a mental problem, not the other way around. The brain was the boss, and the gut was just a stressed-out employee. Even the famous phrase, "you are what you eat," was interpreted on a purely physical level. It was about your weight and physical energy, not your happiness or anxiety. It's only in the last 2 decades that we've discovered this model is not just incomplete. It's fundamentally backward. We've learned that the gut is not a passive recipient of the brain's commands. It's an active, influential partner in a constant, biological dialogue. To understand this dialogue, we need to meet the key players. First, your gut microbiome. This is a bustling city of trillions of bacteria, fungi, and viruses living in your digestive tract. For a long time, we thought of bacteria as invaders, but most of these are your allies. Our second character is the vagus nerve. This is the longest cranial nerve in your body, acting as a superhighway of information connecting your gut directly to your brain. And our final characters are neurotransmitters, like serotonin. You probably know it as the happy chemical, responsible for feelings of well-being and happiness. The factory workers are your gut bacteria. Their job is to break down the food you eat and turn it into useful components. Now, what you might not know is that one of their main products is serotonin. In fact, over 90% of your body's serotonin is manufactured in this gut factory, not in your brain's head office. The vagus nerve is like a dedicated. It's a two-way street, but a staggering 80 to 90% of the traffic on this highway flows from the gut to the brain. Your gut bacteria are constantly sending status reports up to the brain, telling it how things are going on the factory floor. When you eat a diet rich in fiber and fermented foods, you're giving your factory workers high-quality raw materials. They thrive and produce plenty of serotonin. The good bacteria starve, and more disruptive bacteria take over. They produce inflammatory signals, not serotonin. These bad news reports travel up the vagus nerve, and the brain interprets them as stress and anxiety, triggering low mood and even cravings for more sugary. Your gut is literally telling your brain how to feel. The evidence for this shift is overwhelming. We've moved beyond correlation to causation. For example, a landmark study published in the journal Gastroenterology took gut microbes from anxious humans and transplanted them into calm, germ-free mice. The result? The mice started exhibiting anxious behaviors. They became more hesitant and avoided open spaces, mirroring the human donor's anxiety. The anxiety was literally transferable through the microbiome. Conversely, when microbes from calm mice were transplanted into anxious mice, their behavior normalized. This demonstrates that the gut microbiome isn't just associated with mood. It can directly influence it. This research completely flips the old model on its head. It suggests that many mood disorders might not start as brain problems, but as gut problems. This isn't just about feeling hangry. It's a sophisticated biological mechanism where the state of your gut ecosystem directly dictates your mental and emotional state via the vagus nerve superhighway. So, how do we turn this science into a daily routine? Here is the perfect protocol to rebuild your gut and rewire your mood. Don't just try one thing. Build the system. Step 1. Feed the good guys first thing. Before your coffee, before anything else, have a glass of water with a tablespoon of psyllium husk or acacia fiber. This is a prebiotic. It's not for you. It's fertilizer for your good gut bacteria after their long overnight fast. This sets a positive tone for your gut microbiome for the entire day. Step 2. Introduce new workers. At least 3 to 4 times a week, incorporate a variety of fermented foods into your diet. These are probiotics. But don't just stick to one. Variety is key. Think of it as hiring specialists for your factory. One day, have a bit of kamchi. The next, some kefir or plain yogurt. Maybe sauerkraut with your lunch. Each of these contains different strains of beneficial bacteria that perform different jobs. Step 3. Diversify your plant intake. Your goal should be to eat 30 different types of plants per week. This sounds daunting, but it's easier than you think. A handful of mixed nuts and seeds counts as 4 or 5 types. A bag of mixed salad greens can be another 5. Spices and herbs count too. Each plant feeds a different type of good bacteria. A diverse diet creates a diverse, resilient, and powerful microbiome. A monoculture is weak, an ecosystem is strong. Step 4. Calm the system with mindful eating. The vagus nerve is stimulated by slow, deep breathing. Before each meal, take 3 slow, deep belly breaths. This shifts your body into a rest and digest state, improving digestion and enhancing the gut-brain communication. Don't eat while stressed or scrolling on your phone. Focus on your food. This simple act tones the vagus nerve, strengthening the very connection you're trying to improve. If you work night shifts, your circadian rhythm is disrupted, which also disrupts your gut. It's even more crucial for you to have consistent meal times, even if they're at odd hours, to give your gut some predictability. So let's bring it all together. First, we learned that your mood isn't just in your head. The old advice to just think positive ignores the powerful biological conversation happening between your gut and your brain. Second, the vagus nerve is the superhighway for this conversation, with most of the information flowing from your gut to your brain. The state of your gut bacteria is constantly telling your brain how to feel. And third, you can take direct control of this conversation. By implementing a protocol of feeding your microbes with prebiotics, diversifying them with probiotics, and strengthening the connection with mindful practices, you can fundamentally shift your mental state from the bottom up. You have the incredible power to become the architect of your own inner ecosystem. You are not just a passenger subject to the whims of your brain. By nourishing your gut, you are directly nourishing your mind. Start today, and you won't just change your digestion, you might just change your entire life. If you're ready to take the next step in optimizing your health, subscribe for more science-backed protocols. And be sure to check out our next video on how to use morning sunlight to perfectly set your body as master clock. Thanks for watching.